A tutorial in most of our programs is a one-on-one meeting with a faculty member and the student for at least an hour. And it is based on the Socratic method, where a student is answering questions but also asking those questions with the faculty members. So it's a give and take, back and forth, rather than just the professor saying everything for an hour.
Yes. My equivalent was taking 2, which is funny since it's from paper.
I think students benefit mostly through the fact that they take more control over what's the content of the tutorial, but especially what happens in each individual tutorial session. I think for a lot of faculty, most of us spend our careers lecturing students in classrooms where we're just disseminating information and knowledge, and the assumption is we have all of the wisdom, we impart it to our students through lecture or class time, and the other key assumption of most professors in our teaching is that we have access to all the information. And so tutorials are very different. The assumption is that the student has access to information too and can go out and find it on their own, or part of the tutorial is teaching them how to do that for their discipline. And then they bring that information to the tutorial along with the professor's knowledge, so that it really can be a give and take between the two of them. Sort of both of them could potentially learn from that experience, not just the student.
A word we use in anthropology class, participant observer, is you're participating, but you're, removed and observing.
Well, they are the heart of what we do, hence the T in HTC. And I think it's crucial because it distinguishes us from other kinds of educational opportunities for honors across the country. But it really is a different approach to teaching and education, and it embodies that spirit of empowering our students to take more control over their education, to learn at their own pace, to learn the kinds of things that they would like to learn, and while still getting the mentorship and the guidance of an experienced faculty member who's an expert in their areas. There are many different types of tutorials, often based on the discipline that a student is in. So in my home department of English, for example, a tutorial is now largely just the faculty member with 1 or 2 students, and they're looking at literature and talking about it. It's very much everybody interpreting together and learning about it. In other disciplines, there may be more hands-on practice, so either a lab experience in a science class, for example, a science tutorial, or in media arts and studies or journalism, there may be tutorials specifically in a kind of production method. Or I know one of our students, for example, had a tutorial in just how to build microphones and rebuild them. So it was a very hands-on experience rather than a purely intellectual or theoretical one. And then some of our tutorials, especially in the sciences, in the early phase, the first year, are group tutorials. So all of the incoming students are together in a small class. They still have a tutorial experience, but it's much more of a common experience among, say, 10 students. So it varies by discipline. It varies from 1 year to the next. All of our seniors, for example, in their thesis tutorials are far more independent, working on their own on the thesis project and then getting advice from their tutor. Whereas at that lower level, maybe you're getting more kind of input from the faculty member than you would later. So it varies quite a bit.